Hi, this is Joey from Porsche Work. I'm the Porsche Pro there. I'm going to show you a quick video on this 2023 Macan. The Porsche Macan, the base is powered by a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine. It produces around 261 horsepower and the torque's around 295. It also runs on an all-wheel drive drivetrain, and it produces around 19 miles to the gallon in the city and around 25 miles to the gallon on the highway. This Macan is painted in Dolomite silver. It's a very rich silver. It also has these really nice aggressive lines right here in the front that are designed for the ultimate aerodynamic experience. In the front here we have our LED headlights, daytime running lights, and we can kind of see our sensors in the front here. That's for our cruise control right here, adaptive cruise control. Our parking sensors are in the bumpers as well. And you can kind of see this design right here in the front. This is new for the 23. It has a nice aggressive tone. And you can actually see it carries right on over to the side blades as well. Has that nice black, distinct, aggressive look. And now when we're looking over here, we have our 19-inch wheels. These are staggered wheels in the front versus the back. So working our way to the back of the Macan, we have a rear spoiler, but the other nice thing is we have this rear tail light. It goes all the way horizontally across the back end of the Macan. It gives a beautiful reflection and design at nighttime when it lights up. You can really tell it's the Porsche Macan driving in front of you. Another neat thing is most SUVs have a handle. Ours is nicely hidden right here. We can push this button and it allows us to open it up. We can also open it up with the key fob, and depending on the options of the car, there is a kick to open feature as well. And there is a way to open and close the Macan's tailgate from inside the car in the captain's chair. Now once we're here, open and close right here, we can also adjust the opening height of our Macan by moving it to the desired height, hitting and holding our program button, which will be the left of the two buttons in the back. It just made a nice little beep noise to let us know, hey, we just reprogrammed our height. We can close it just like that. Plenty of room to get any of the goods you need to travel with inside the Macan. As we come inside of this Macan, the first thing you're going to notice is the beautiful red interior. It's a nice rich red. It's called Bordeaux. Our first area of examination is going to be our door. And we can see on the door, we have our window selectors. Right above that, we can select which side mirror to adjust. The circular analog button, that allows us to adjust our mirror to the position we would like. Right above that is a button we can hit, and that will fold in our side mirrors. On the bottom of that panel, we have a button to open and close the hatch, and a button to lock the back areas of the Macan. This is like child-proofing in a way. Right above that, we can see the lock and unlock, our handle, and then we see a set, 1, 2, and a key of an icon. This is our memory settings. Now, whenever I go over a car with a customer, I always recommend setting a number. So for an example, if you're the primary driver, we would hit set, then we would hit the number 1. That will save number 1 for a setting profile. And then I always recommend hitting set, and then the key fob on the bottom. Now that key fob is going to make the key that you're using remember your profile settings as well, and becomes very helpful if there's multiple keys being used for the same car. All right, now that I'm in the driver's seat, the first thing I'm noticing as well is this beautiful red stitching that's along the dash. Now the dash is a high-end leather material to begin with, but you can see the stitching really brings in the rest of the interior together. Working from your dash, right in front of me is my steering wheel. And you don't get intimidated. Some people do. There's a lot of buttons going on, but it's not that bad at all. Starting on the left side, this first button will become your best friend. This is your voice activation. A simple tap, and that will activate your Porsche voice activation. A tap and a hold, that will activate your smartphone voice, either Siri or Amazon Alexa or whatever voice control you have on the phone. We have 2 scrolls. The one on the left here, that's my volume. This little arrow, that's going to give me my next track or station depending on what media source I am on. This little M, this looks like a -M+. This is our control for our paddle shifters. This activates our paddle shifters. Now you can activate these at any point in time you would like, but by hitting the M you can either deactivate the paddle shifters if you accidentally whacked it when you're making a turn, or if you just want to have fun and drop those gears and really get that torque up there. Working onto our other side, we have a phone button here. This button is used to pick up a phone call and end the call. So there's no two buttons, there's just one button for two different functions. This back arrow and then this scroll, they work for the same function. Now what function is that? You're going to notice whenever I move this, my gauge right behind, my cluster right behind my steering wheel is going to start moving, giving me all different points of data. One of the favorites I've noticed people like is this map, and it goes right with the map that you have in your PCM, so if any type of direction is coming up, it will present itself inside of the screen as well. And if you ever tap in the scroll I was using to go up and down, it's going to give you sub-categories or sub-options for whatever screen you're on. Now that back arrow I was just talking about, how I said it works together with the scroll, when I hit that back arrow, it's going to get rid of whatever's coming up next. So allow me to go, oh, nope, accidentally hit that, let me get rid of that. So it's kind of like the back button you would use on your internet browser. Working our way to the center over here, we have a analog clock. Now your analog clock and your digital clock right here on the PCM, they're concurrent. So if I change the time on my digital clock, and that's easy enough, you just tap the time, hit my time settings, and it is on automatic time sync, but if it doesn't change, you can automatically hit that, change my time, move where I would want it to go, confirm, and then both of those clocks are going to update at the same time. Put that back on auto time sync. And then with this screen, if anything's going on, you want to get back to home, we hit our little home icon right here, and then boom, that brings us right back. Our column of icons are here. This is our main contact point. All these icons, that's kind of where you want to go for your navigation, music, phone, car settings, and through the Porsche Connect services, you get these really neat apps. These will really help you out if you're ever traveling anywhere. Check up on the weather on the area you're at. There's no such thing as good news anymore, but you can check the headlines here, gas stations nearby, hotels nearby, etc., on those other ones. Your sound profile, this is your base travel location of the sound. Devices, this is how we can add and delete different smartphones. And of course our settings, you can really dive deep into these and manipulate a lot of aspects of the Macan. Alright, now this area down here where our shifter is, this area is on the left and the right. These are mainly the climate we can manipulate. So our climate control, we have two silver buttons or black buttons right here depending on, how the car is spec'd out. The left or the right, depending on the side, the outer button, that's going to give us our temperature. The inner button is going to give us our fan speed or the intensity of the fan. Moving down, we have our auto reset. A lot of people like this because they go, hey, you know what, car? I'm looking at a 74 degrees at a low fan speed. Take care of that and do that all the time for me. So that's what the car is going to do. It's going to get you to 74 degrees center of the cabin as quick as possible, and it's going to try to maintain that for the entirety of the trip. If you want a little more control, like we're getting into the winter time, you might get into the car with your feet are really cold and you're like, you know what, my feet are freezing. You can pinpoint the airflow to go right to your feet, straight at you, or straight up in the cabin. Or as you can see, all three locations at the same time. Right to the left, we have our heated seat, and then we have our ventilated seat. Hot and cold. Sport, that gives you a little more oomph. It changes the transmission mapping. It opens up the muffler a little bit more, gives you more of a feel, sound for a great sport experience. This traction, you will probably never hit this because you've had this button in all of your other cars and you never hit it. But if you ever hit and hold it, it's going to turn off your traction. And what this will do is if you're ever super stuck in some heavy snow and ice and it feels like the car isn't moving, feels like the tires are stopping on each other, you hit that to tell the car to burn out, burn some rubber around town. I had said that to an 18-year-old before and they took it literally. So don't take it literally. I'm just teasing. Over here on the right, off. This gets a little tricky. This is the feature that turns the engine off when you come to a stop. The red light means it will not turn off. Red light means it's a good old-fashioned normal car. By doing that, you're telling the car it's okay to turn the engine off when you come to a stop. As soon as you take your foot off the brake, the engine turns on back by itself. And the button right above that looks like a road with a steering wheel on the bottom right. That's going to be your lane departure. If you're kind of just daydreaming, not paying attention, you get close to the yellow lines or the white lines, the car's going to make a noise at you. Say, hey, pay attention. Sounds like a bullfrog. It's pretty fun. This is your hill assist. If you're ever towing a heavy load and you're going down a steeper hill, this will help the car maintain or perform at the power ratio you need to work at. Off-road, this changes the differential, changes the all-wheel drive system to give you more of a balanced front and rear drive to master the off-road terrain. And these buttons right here, they're the same as they were for me. Location of it, heat and cold seats, temperature, fan speed. And then lastly, up here we have our row of buttons. AC, circulation, rear defrost, emergency flashers, front defrost, syncing both sides so you can have the same temperature and same fan speed, and maximum AC. So we made it to the back of the Macan. This little armrest is actually a double cup holder, and that folds right up flush to the back of the car. Now, putting your back seats down, in the corners of the back seats, there's a little switch we can pull. You can see it's going to be a 40-60 split. By putting it back up, it's going to go right flush right back to the back. We have a couple controls down here. We have two USB-C inputs so you can charge your smart devices. We have heated seats for the back, and we have a little temperature control right here. What this does is it takes the controls from the front, brings it back here, and you can manipulate it just a little bit. You can make it a little hotter, a little bit colder to meet your satisfaction. Now, if we look up, now this is the best part, sitting in the back. The size of the sunroof here on the Macan is just giant, and it gives you a great open feel, especially if you're driving on a nice starry night. You can look up and really take it all in.